You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world.
Good morning, beloved ones. Turn to someone and tell them, Happy New You. Happy New You. Happy New You. Yes. Happy New You. Well, I'm glad to see the church is filling up. When I first came out here, I thought, well, they must have really partied hard this weekend because nobody came to church. But I'm glad to see that you come on in and glad to see that you're here. You know, Mama used to say if you could go out on Saturday night, you can get up and come to church on Sunday morning. So, glad to see you all got that message as well. You know, it's hard to believe that the holidays have come and gone. I mean, I don't know if you're like me, but I just feel like, where is the time going? It's hard to believe that 2009 has come and gone. But here we are, right? With a brand new year before us, a brand new year. It's a wonderful time because this is the time in which we usually find ourselves making resolutions, new resolutions and promises, right? The time in which we are motivated to set goals for the year ahead. We write letters to God in unity, and we envision what we want and what we desire for the year ahead, what we hope to have and what we hope to achieve. Now, maybe everyone wasn't here for our New Year's Eve service, but for those of you who were, how many of you wrote in your letter to God things that you wanted to have and things that you wanted to do in 2010 or 2010? How many of you wrote things? Good. And that's a good thing, because the scriptures say to us that the people, without a vision, the people perish, right? And so it's okay for us to write down what we desire and to envision what we see ourselves doing and experiencing in this wonderful year ahead. But I want to ask you this. I want to know how many of you wrote down who you want to be in 2010. Who you want to be. All right, there were a few of you. Good. Because that's the question. See, oftentimes we get so caught up in the getting and in the doing and in the having that we forget that it's really about the being. Being is first and foremost. Margaret Young said this. She said, often people attempt to live their lives backwards. They try to have more things or more money in order to do more of what they want so that they'll be happier. The way it actually works is reversed. You must first be who you really are, then do what you need to do in order to have what you want. And I thought that is so true. Perhaps this is why we might find ourselves at this time of the year making the same promises, the same resolutions year after year after year, and not having achieved them because our priorities were misaligned. Our goals perhaps were misaligned. I bet if you were to take, I don't know how many of you do this, but if you were to say, if you've somehow saved all of the letters to God that you have written, those of you who've been in this church for a long time, and if you saved all of the letters to God that you've written, and you begin to look at them, I bet you would see some of the same things that you keep asking for, the same things that you wrote last year and the year before and the year before that. Thinking, oh, okay, well, now let's see. Okay, God hasn't fulfilled that one yet. Oh, God hasn't given me that yet. Oh, this hasn't happened yet. And so we keep filling it out and writing it down and asking for it. Hint, hint, hint. It might be you. Might be. And we keep thinking, well, God hasn't somehow given me my heart's desires and fulfilled that which I've asked for. And the Bible says, ask and ye shall have. But yet we say, well, it might be you. I want you to think about this. Maybe it's your priorities that are misaligned. See, we forget that it should be being, doing, and having. Not necessarily, doing, having, and being. If I could do more, then I'm going to have more, then I'll be more. Or even if I could have more, see, if I had more money, then I can do more, then I'd be more. No. It is being, doing, and having. And so you have to understand, what are your intentions? What are your intentions? How are you approaching? Is it to have more money? Is it to do more things this year? Those are okay. But in what order? See, because the spiritual key is to first be able to concentrate on being more of your true self, being more of your spiritual self, being more of your God-created self, being more of your empowered self, your enlightened self, more of your God-inspired self, more of your Christed self, to be more of those things, to be more of the God self in you. What did Mary sing about? They said, it's the God in what? It's the God in you. To be more of that. Because you see, friends, that's where your true source of power lies. That's where the power to do or to have comes from. We think it comes from some outer source. If I could just do this job right and maybe get a promotion, then I'll get more money. If I can come up with this divine idea and then sell it to whoever, then maybe I'll get... The source of your ability and your power to do and accomplish anything first comes from God. And if you could somehow attune yourself to that understanding and come from that perspective, then everything else will unfold with more grace and ease. And that's what we're looking for, grace and ease. So what are your intentions? Your intentions must be clear. And they must be well grounded in the higher aspect of who you are in character, who you are in your consciousness, and who you are in the inner qualities of your being. Not what you do, not how many titles you have, not who you're connected to and who you know, not your high position. Who you are in character, who you are in consciousness, and who you are in the inner qualities of your being. You have to shore that up first. Shore that up first, or else you're going to find yourself struggling with all of your doing and your getting. Struggling to make it all work. Have you noticed how each year you start off so well? Right? You start off with such good intentions. But somewhere down the line, and for some of us it might be a week, some might be a month or 2 months down the road, some of us it might be a day. Somewhere down the line, you aren't able to maintain or uphold your stated desires. You don't seem to be able to have that inner fortitude and that strength to carry out or fulfill your goals and your dreams and your desires and your intentions, as good as they may be. Sometimes we as true students, we fall into thinking that all we have to do is say it or affirm it or write it or visualize it, right? And it will happen. Those things work, but there are other things that go along with it. Because it's not just pie in the sky magic formula. Sylvia, be well, be rich, be this. There's more to it. But sometimes our writers and the people who are putting forth this message of truth, sometimes we get carried away in thinking that it's all about us. We can just, like a magic genie, say it and hey, here it appears. You see, and we then miss a vital key. We miss a vital part to all manifestations and all fulfillment, which is we forget about God. We forget about the source. We forget to bring God in the mix of things. So with all of your intentions and all of your visualizations and all your goal setting and your writing, how about asking God for some assistance? How about asking God to enable you to be sustained in your intentions? How about asking that you have the ability to stay on track, not just the things. This is a new year. So with this new year, you want new directions. You want a new vision. You want a new way of thinking. You want a new consciousness. You want a new you. The psalmist put it this way. The psalmist asks for this. And this is in Psalm 51, verses 10. The psalmist asked, "Create in me a clean heart, O God. Renew a right spirit within me. Don't banish me from your presence, and don't take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me again the joy of your salvation, and make me willing to obey you." And then some hundreds of years later, God answers. God answers this prayer of the psalmist to create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. God answers through the prophet Ezekiel. Hundreds of years later, and this is what God says through Ezekiel 36. "Then I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. And I will give you a new heart with new and right desires. And I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out your stony heart of sin, which is simply error thinking and error consciousness, and give you a new obedient heart. And I will put my spirit in you so that you will obey my laws and do whatever I command." Wow. I'll give you a new heart with right desires. I'll put a new spirit in you. If anybody is in Christ, he is a what? A new creation. I'm going to do these things. Who is this speaking? God. I'll give you a new and right consciousness, a new and right heart. I'll put my spirit in you. And so, friends, if you can ask, be like the psalmist, ask for a new and right heart and a new and right spirit. And then a spirit that allows God to be God in your life, that allows God and then enables you to be willing to follow the spiritual laws of being. See, I know what the spiritual laws are. You know what they are. You know what's right for you to do. But we need to get that edge that enables us to do it, to be it, to express it. You know, so we need to ask. I realize that I know this. Maybe I need to ask God to help me create in me that right spirit and that right mind and the right thinking and the right energy and the right heart so that I can do the things that I really want to do. So that I can really follow the spiritual principles and laws of truth and life that I know work when you work them. Help me to work them. Help me to do it. Enable me to be empowered. And if we ask for that kind of consciousness, that kind of gift, that kind of heart, we'll be empowered from on high. We'll be at a different level. Create in me a new heart and a new spirit. That should be the first thing on our list for this New Year's resolution. For our letters. The first thing. Because as David Viscott said, he said, you must begin to think of yourself as becoming the person you want to be. Begin to think of yourself as becoming the person you want to be. Not just doing the things you want to do and having the things, but becoming the person you really want to be. Do you want to be kinder? Do you want to be more loving, more faithful, How about more patient? Anybody here need to be more patient? Yes. Well, all right. How to be more forgiving, less reactionary, less judgmental. Do you want to be true to your word? That's a good one. Let me be true to my word. I got good words. I'm a wordsmith. I can come up with some words. But let me be true to my words, right? Let me be of service. Let me give the more of my being. See, friends, you've got to learn how to get to the quality of being that is behind the things that you want. Get to the qualities of being that lay behind your desires, whatever it is that you want to do or have. For example, I have been given some ideas for 3 books. Now, for years I've been praying, and people have been asking me to write, and I've been thinking, well, I'm going to wait until the books write me, and I don't have any ideas. Well, this past year I got ideas for 3, not 1, but 3 books. And I really want to write them. I really feel called to write them. I do. Now ask me, have I written them? Oh, but now, in my behalf, I do have a title page for one of them. I do have, one has an introduction, 2 introduction paragraphs for my preface. The 3rd one has an outline of the chapters and the titles. Yes, I have some stuff going on. But have I done anything else since that moment when the inspiration hit me? See, when it hit me, I said, oh, a title page. I wrote that out. Hit me. Oh, I'm going to do this outline. Yes, but have I done anything since the moment of inspiration hit me? Have I been consistent in maintaining not only the desire, but the fire? See, we can be inspired in a moment, in an instant. But how long does it last? How long does it last? You see? So I'm thinking, instead of putting down on my letter to God that I want to write a book as one of my intentions, or write my 3 books as my intentions or my resolutions, what I need to be putting down is to ask for and affirm the qualities of being that would enable me to do so. So I need to have on my list the quality of steadfastness. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, I need to be, Lord, give me more steadfastness, stick-to-itiveness. Maybe I also need to write down and say, okay, I can use a little bit more discipline, the quality of discipline. Maybe I can use the quality of focus so that I can follow through on my stated intentions and my desires. I need that discipline, that follow through. Let me get the quality of commitment. Or maybe I could even use some of the 12 powers that are ours, that have been placed in us. I can use a little bit more will, and a little bit more strength, and some zeal, and some order. See, because if these qualities of being were upfront and personal, right here, upfront in my expression, in my thinking, and in my being, those books would practically write themselves. They would write themselves. And so we have to understand, it's not the thing, get behind it. I need some commitment and some steadfast, some discipline, all of these things. And so, friends, I know that you may have already written your letter to God, but I'm going to ask you to create a little addendum, all right? And to write a list of the qualities of being that you would like to improve upon or increase or to express more of this year. Not just the things, but what are the qualities of being that will enable you to do the things? See? And don't just list them, but create an intentional statement, a sort of a personal mission statement of how you intend to be this year. Because if you can get your being right, everything else is going to fall into place. Your doing and your having will manifest. And so get your statement, write it, Read it every single day. Fill your consciousness with it. Fill your mind with it. Fill your spirit and your heart with it. Read it over and over and over, and then watch what happens to you. Watch it. We say every time, every New Year's Eve, may this be your best year yet. If you did some of this, this would be your best year yet. Because there are so many things that we aspire to be that would actually put us in a higher steed and would actually facilitate our doing and our being more naturally, more easily. If we would work on our character and our consciousness, then our intentions would carry more weight. They would have the energy of spirit backing them, behind them. And with the energy of spirit behind anything, that's when fulfillment comes. That's when manifestation happens. That's when blessings show up. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, make the most of yourself, for that is all there is of you. I love that. And you don't make the most of yourself by doing more. You don't make the most of yourself by having more. You make the most of yourself by what? Being more. More of who you were created to be. It's a magnificent, creative, conscious, Christ-enlightened and where being. Jesus was able to do what he did because he knew who he was. I am the Son of God. I am the way and the truth and the life. I am the resurrection and the life. I am that I am. See, I am a child of God. And so I ask you, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? And does that knowing remain up front in your consciousness? So that you can say, yes, I am a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual laws. And you're not just saying it, but you know it. Does that knowing of that actually lead all of your actions? I'm a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe, and I am empowered and governed by spiritual laws. Waiting for the traffic light. You know what? I'm a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual laws. Conferencing with your boss. You know what? I am a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual laws. Is that up front? Are you filling your heart and your spirit and your mind and your body and your soul with it? Work on you this year. Get the character, the consciousness, the heart, the mind, and the spirit right. Create in me a right mind, a right heart, a right spirit, and all else will follow. Be a blessing, and you will be blessed. Be the change you wish to see in the world, and the world will be changed. Be the light that you are, and the world will manifest light. Be the truth, and the truth will set you free. And so, friends, I want to pray and hold you in this consciousness and in the spirit that you will each be happy, healthy, whole, prosperous, and blessed in this new year. Happy New You. Blessings. 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 Thank you. Blessings. Blessings, blessings, blessings.